Test, test, test.
Test 1, 2.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thrashing Couch on Thrash's Paradise. I'm the Thrash man himself, the creator Colin Sterling. I'm here with Mike from Plethora. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Shout out to Thrash's Paradise.
And shout out to Plethora and the rest of the boys. Sadly, they couldn't join us today, but that's okay. We still got one.
Cool. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, it was a Tuesday, so everybody's working, unfortunately.
Tuesday at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Worst. Who am I kidding? I was surprised we were able to get this done in one day.
I'm glad to be here.
Honestly. So it took you a month to reply to me. What's going on with that, man?
Yeah, I know. I'm terrible with checking our Facebook stuff, if I'm being brutally honest. Yeah. Sorry, But, I mean, thanks for having us here.
Hey, no problem. It's all good. You know what? I'm just happy you guys did get back to me eventually, because the end result is on this lovely channel of ours. We just want to help promote good old-fashioned Canadian metal.
Right on. Yeah, cheers. I appreciate you guys doing it.
Hey, no problem. So we're going to start the questioning off fairly simple. You guys are from Oshawa, the part of the greater Toronto area. Yeah. I do believe so. What's it like being part of that big graphic map regional part of Ontario?
You know, even though I'm from Oshawa, our band is still trying to get into the Toronto scene maybe a little bit more. You know, I mean, Oshawa always has had some good bands. You know, like I was saying earlier, growing up, there was a venue called The Dungeon. We used to go watch Devoured. But now there's this promoter, Inertia Entertainment. You know, September 22nd, we're actually playing at Lee's Palace. Check it out.
With the Agonists. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I dig it.
Facebook that. My buddy Gabe from Raider said he would be going, so.
Cool.
Good.
Yeah, that's going to be a good show. And so, like I was saying, with Oshawa, you don't really get these, like, record executives or, you know, people who want to come to Oshawa to scout bands, you know. It's kind of a rough scene and a rough crowd, and it's got a bit of a bad reputation, you know.
Yeah.
I love playing there. It's one of my favorite places to play, but, you know, in Toronto, I feel like there's a network that's living, and, you know, between all the different bands that are competing in there, and the different promoters even competing with each other, the scene's just a little more alive right in Toronto. You know, I think even Hamilton's a little similar to the scene of Oshawa, where it's not huge,
okay. Yeah,
but there is something there, and you know, there's always been kind of it's always been a bit of a hard rock town, and
yeah,
you know, I think being a GM town, I think that has a bit of an influence. You know, the metal and the cars and the hard work, and you know, it's not Vermont.
Yeah. You're not going to get pulled over by the highway patrol and asked, what are you doing, meow?
Right. Actually, there's a spot in Oshawa, there's a few spots I feel like you're just never going to get a speeding ticket there. Like, especially like if you're in a GM car around GM.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I speed down there quite a bit.
Breaking the law a bit, I see.
Yeah, actually, recently I got a $350 ticket speeding.
Oh, that took a wrong turn.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going way off course with this, but, you know, just kind of shooting the shit with you.
Yeah, same. That's the end result of every interview. We just end up shooting the shit with bands.
Yeah. I do want to say, you know, like, we have an album coming out.
Okay.
And I'm really excited about that. We have recorded 12 songs, and we're really happy with it. And we have a bunch of shows coming up. And we actually wanted to release the album in May, but we decided to try to grow our social media content a little bit first.
Okay.
You know, doing things like this. And, you know, just trying to get our name a little more out there before we release an album. Excuse me.
It's all good.
But we're certainly still writing. Actually, we played a new song live that is not on the album.
Oh.
the other night, and yeah, I like it a lot.
Stay tuned for the deluxe edition of that album.
Yeah, really. No, I think we'll do a second album fairly soon after.
Okay.
You know, I think the wait for the first album is going to be longer than the wait for the second album.
Fair enough. Now, I'm glad you bring this up. Now, how much of an exciting time is it for you guys to be finishing up this album, getting it ready to bring out into the world to say, hey, we're Plethora?
Yeah.
What's that like?
It is exciting. It's also expensive.
Yeah.
That's, partially, it's not just our social media that we're trying to grow, but it's also, we have to kind of work within the means of our finances, I mean, we're kind of past the days of just being able to ask our parents to help us out, or our friends and family, and I don't know, I'm not crazy when I see like a band or anybody for that matter asking for like a GoFundMe page. I mean, I like what Protest the Hero did, I guess, doing it on their own. I don't know if you're aware. They kind of broke away from the label a bit and did their own thing. A lot of people complain about the music business, how nobody gets any money, and, Spotify is ripping everybody off. And I know there's teachers of mine who would hate to hear me say this, but to me, it's my art that I want to get out. It's a privilege for me. I'm not doing this to just be a rock star. I'm a genuine musician, and I'm going to create, and I'm going to put it out, whether I'm making $1 or $1 million. In fact, I'm going in debt for it, But I can't help it. I can't control it.
You know what? I will say this about the metal genre itself. It is the most hardest working genre in the whole world because we don't do it for the money. We don't do it for the fame or the fortune. We do it for the love of the music, the passion of it.
Yeah.
And I love hearing you say that and endorsing that because people don't think that when they think metal. They just think of, oh, it's just that screamo shit emo kids listen to.
Right.
No, it's something more than that.
I think it's the easiest genre to fuck up in terms of like, it's really easy to sound bad. You already have so much gain, and especially with the vocalist. A vocalist is a real make or break for metal, in my opinion. Even just talking with your family upstairs, you want to be able to understand what the vocalist is saying.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing we try to get our singer to do. We don't want him to sound like these Cookie Monster vocals. We want to understand the words, and because he's a really talented writer,
Yeah.
I feel like our singer could be doing a lot of different things in life, but he's so passionate about this band that it really consumes us.
Yeah, because we saw them live May 17th at the Velvet Underground. Very nice venue, by the way, with Hound Skull and Alien Weaponry. And just to see that switch from your lead singer, it's just, you just see a casual dude with a nice button-up shirt, dressed kind of nice, gets up on stage, takes that off, just turns into this insane freak, and it's like, yeah.
His nickname in the band is Grandpa Slippers, because everywhere he's walking around, he's wearing slippers, and he's already an old man, He's 27, but really, he's an old man.
Okay.
He's like living like he's 57.
Well, now they know what kind of shirts to make now.
Some sweaters?
No, you get the old man, what's it called? It's like a nicer type of cardigan. You should get Plethora cardigans.
Yeah, maybe you're onto something there. Actually, I think we're hoping to get some new merch for the show on September 22nd.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've had a lot of requests for hoodies, and we did do a run of hoodies and things, and a few runs of shirts before, but I think now we got this new album cover actually.
Oh,
This is the album cover here.
Really?
I just threw this shirt on.
it is a very nice shirt, a very nice album color. Cover, not color.
Actually, a student of mine made this. It's a little bit of a sad story, I guess, because she was a student of mine and very talented artist, and we worked together quite a bit, actually playing music together, and we did some recording together. But I just started falling in love with this girl,
Oh.
and she's actually engaged.
Oh.
So I don't know why we're talking about this on camera, but
It's okay.
but she is the artist, and she is a great artist and a good friend of mine, and we don't talk as much anymore.
Okay. But no, it's a beautiful album artwork, and definitely says a lot about what beholds within the Plethora name.
Yeah, I like it. I feel like it's got the explosion inside the guy, and you see this the kind of scratch marks, kind of representing some angst. It's I like it. We're gonna kind of play with a few different ideas for some new merch.
Perfect. Now, speaking of merchandise and songs, it is very difficult to find something of your or of your branding on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I immediately went to the website as soon as you guys stopped performing. And it said, you can own this name.
I know, yeah. We need to get back on. I love music. And like I said, I'm not doing this to be some rock star. I'm doing this because I have to. It's in me, And I'm not the greatest at life outside of playing guitar always. So sometimes finances are part of the issue, as much as I would have liked to release a Plethora album, 4 years ago. It just, sometimes the cards don't play that way. We actually signed a deal with a manager in the States a few years ago, and we were in talks with Logan Mader. Do you know who that is?
Sadly not.
So Logan Mader was the original guitar player for Machine Head.
Okay, I'm listening now.
And he's produced The Way of All Flesh by Gojira.
No.
And he's worked with Sepultura, Fear Factory,
Really?
a lot of big names, yeah. And we got an offer to make an album with him, go live at his place in Vegas for a month, but it would have cost us $20,000.
Oh.
But the thing is that that's almost a good deal, these guys, sometimes they're charging bands $60,000.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantees in this business either. And unfortunately, there's different routes to make it in the music business, which is actually a good thing. But, there's no I'm a huge fan of UFC. And there's no, do you watch UFC at all?
Yes, I know UFC.
So there's no Dana White for the music industry.
Right.
There's no president where you can see the CEOs and it feels like there's a curtain over the music industry, in my opinion, where a lot of people don't know what goes on behind the scenes, where the UFC, it's oh, this guy failed a drug test, he's in a car accident, what they're getting paid, the bonuses, all the networks that they're working with, even the prospects coming up, they have these Contender Series nights and things like the Ultimate Fighter where you can win a show. I think it's great what you're doing with this Thrasher's Paradise, honestly, and I hope it continues to grow.
Thank you very much.
One company I want to give a shout out to is Banger TV. You know, I was actually the episode premiered today. Actually, one of the with me playing guitar on it, and you know, I think they have Sam Dunn in particular has a good feel of the industry, and he's got good foresight, and he can kind of see the big picture, and he's really trying to grow something. You know, and it's nice that he kind of gave some guitar players an opportunity to get exposed. You know, even, you know, I did send a letter to Gibson and told them, like, hey, watch this show, you know. It's a tough industry.
Yeah.
It's a tough industry, especially if you're a poor kid from a poor family. You know, you look at, you know, metal's not the only thing I listen to.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of all types of music, and you take a band like, what were they called? They were so popular just recently. It was like two pop guys. Oh, shit. The guy had a really big afro and weird glasses.
Okay.
Very, like, sexual kind of songs. Very mainstream. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Sadly not.
It'll come to me after. But anyway, their grandfather, somebody was, like, loaded. And they made all this electronic music, and they're kind of able to get themselves out in the industry a little easier with some money, actually.
Are you thinking of the guys that did that?
LMFAO or whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
LMFAO. Yeah, I know them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they had a bit of money behind them.
Yes.
And it helps.
Mm-hmm.
It actually does help.
Yeah.
It's, you know, like, you know, another reason I'm such a big fan of fighting, like, literally anybody can become heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
You could be, it doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter what part of the world you're from, it doesn't matter what religion you are, you can become heavyweight champion, you know, and it's like, it's kind of the same with the metal genre. Like, you know, I feel like if I did get a deal with Gibson or something, that would be like a heavyweight title, you know?
Yeah.
Like, nobody could take that from me.
No, it's a blessing.
It would be, yeah.
We're gonna try and move on to some more happier topics, because I just feel we're getting more and more depressing as we talk.
You know what? One thing, now that you mention that, before we do move on, I think with music, you need some art in general. You need to have some life experiences behind you in order to make art that's worth somebody's time, you know, and not just this little project for me that I'm having fun with on my computer. You know, like last night I was listening to this DVD called Flamenco.
Okay.
And it's recorded in Spain, and it's all these flamenco guitar players and these amazing vocalists and dancers. But one thing about it, and I find this with a lot of like even like Turkish music.
Okay.
Like it from places that are maybe not so. Not that Turkey's a third world place, but you can hear the pain in their voice.
Yes.
You know, and metal is a darker genre.
Yeah.
You know, you're saying, like, let's move from the darker stuff, but in a way, I think it is a misfit genre, you know. Yeah. I grew up with, you know, I've got some demons for sure. I don't know about you, but, you know.
We all have them.
Yeah, everybody does. And I think metal is a great way is a healthy way to release those demons, you know. Like, I can tell you, you know, going to shows have been some of the best times in my life, and you know, even just I can remember just listening to Metallica and Ozzy, and it's cheesy to say those bands saved my life, but I literally remember thinking like, man, the only thing good in this world is fucking Pantera and Metallica and Ozzy, and like, I'm not having a good time at anything else with life, but at least I have Metallica, and I've you know, Slipknot's like my blanket that I can put on and tune out the world and feel kind of normal and even maybe get some shit out too, you know?
You're exactly 100% right. And believe me, I feel that way too with my bands. Like, Dream Theater for me was the first band I really got into, and it just really opened my eyes to what metal really can be.
Yeah.
Because people just already just assume it's just all screaming, and then you have Dream Theater, Nightwish, Epica, and all these other bands are just, they're not screaming, they're singing.
I think it's easy for bands to ruin the reputation of metal, you know? You look at a band like Mushroom Head. We've played with Mushroom Head, and no offense against Mushroom Head, but they're kind of what people think of as the stereotype of metal, you know? They're these crazy guys with crazy voice. Actually, one guy's a really good singer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just find them, they're very simple.
Fair enough, yeah.
And they got quite large, but I think once they're at that point, it's like, you need to be able to make, it's more than just a business.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I don't know, I think they're not real musicians in my eyes.
I value your opinion, and I agree with it. Very much.
Like, if you, like, when I listen to their guitar playing, it always disappoints me. It's like, man, I feel like any high school band could come up with these riffs.
Exactly.
But, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass too much here.
No, I really enjoy your opinions, and I think they're very honest and good points.
That being said, though, I do love Slipknot. You know, even though that's a band with grown men wearing masks and it's a little bit silly, but I think they're legitimate musicians.
They're more creative. Like, yeah.
They're better musicians, I think, is what it comes down to. They know more about their instrument and their craft, you know, like Corey Taylor is a special singer.
Oh my God, like, just to switch from Slipknot to Stone Sour for him, it's night and day.
I think that's a guy that's waving the flag for heavy music, saying, hey, this isn't just screaming in a microphone.
Yeah.
Hey, this isn't just Halloween music, you know? This is real, meaningful music, and we're painting pictures with emotions.
Yeah. And to quote the brand new album they released, "We are not your kind."
It's a great album.
It is. I haven't heard it yet. I've heard a couple of songs.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I don't want to promote another band, it is fucking great.
Yeah.
I've had it on. I've had it on repeat since it came out.
Really?
Yeah, I was at a cottage recently. The Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it came out the Friday.
Mm-hmm.
The whole lake heard that friggin' album a few times.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Like I mentioned earlier, I witnessed you guys live for the first time ever. May 17th. It was, again, Velvet Underground, Houndskull, Alien Weaponry. Now, Houndskull is quoted on this channel that it was a great show of youth and the future of metal. Do you agree with that? If not, what's your take on what that show meant?
I think it's possible that we're the future of metal. I do believe in us. That might sound, cocky to say. It's possible that this doesn't work. It's possible we're not the future of metal. At the end of the day, we're a band from Oshawa.
Yeah.
It's the cards are against us. And we're in a heavy metal band. But I believe in us, and I do think that we could be the future of the genre. I'm a genuine fan.
Yeah.
I've been playing guitar I've been in lessons since I was 12.
Okay.
But I've been playing my whole life. My father was a guitar player, and I have a brother who's 10 years older who's a guitar player, and an uncle who was a guitar player who toured with bands, and music's always been around in my family, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not in it to be a rock star, but I would be proud to wave the flag for heavy metal and be a band like a Metallica or even bigger.
Awesome. Great. I love the answer. Bandcamp.
Bandcamp.
It's a website.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you've heard of it. Where a bunch of bands, not just metal, but from other genres, come there to put their albums out and T-shirts and stuff. Sell it through there. Do you ever think Plethora might ever go that route of trying out Bandcamp?
Probably not exclusively Bandcamp, because in my eyes, the way that I like to listen to music, number one, I like hearing vinyl.
Fair enough.
But again, that's super expensive.
Yeah.
So, even printing CDs, I like listening to CDs, but again, it's kind of expensive. And so now an easy way to get our music out, and that's fairly cheap. Bandcamp is, but I think Spotify and iTunes and YouTube are just taken a little more seriously.
Yeah.
So, when you, there's like things called DistroKid and CD Baby. These are companies that bands register with. So when you don't go, if I have music, I don't go email Spotify and say, hey, can I get my music on your app?
Yeah.
I have to go through another company like a DistroKid or CD Baby, but it's not like crazy expensive. You can pay like $20 even as low as to have your music on. Yeah, so I think the route that we want to go is we want to be on iTunes and Spotify.
Perfect.
And we'll have a website. Our website that's down right now. We'll have it up and going soon, and I think that's what will make it where if you want to buy some merch, or if you want to purchase a physical copy, I think we'll probably do like some pre-orders to see what kind of numbers we're looking at. But
smart move.
Being our first album, everybody in the band is expecting the worst, basically.
I think personally, I think that's actually a good route, because if you think of the worst possible outcome, then anything else can really surprise you.
Yeah, anything's good. Anything's
so
gravy.
I think that's smart of you guys to go that way. A bit sad, but really smart that you guys are thinking like that, because I do that all the time with my stuff. I think for the worst, and then when something turns out better than what I was expecting, it's like, oh, okay, cool.
I am a risk taker, and I take chances in life and things, but, real life is going on, and it's like you need to have a roof above your head and eat and things, and, it's a tough industry.
Yeah. Now, a bunch of people might not know of who you guys are yet. How would you, in words, describe what the style of Plethora is?
I think the name describes it well. It is a lot of something. It's not just influences from though we are a metal band. They're definitely heavy, but you talk to our singer about what he listens to on a daily basis. A lot of it is not metal. He's a huge Aretha Franklin nut.
Really?
Yeah, he loves singing Aretha Franklin, and I love playing a lot of the guitar stuff too. Plethora to me is kind of a combination of older metal and newer metal. I like the newer style with bands like Gojira and Slipknot, where they kind of play, like Gojira in particular, you almost get like tribal stuff with like almost like African polyrhythms, and but I love the old school like Metallica guitar solos. Mm-hmm. I love the old school Megadeth solos, those thrash in your face, and I grew up on Ozzy with Randy Rhoads, and he had so many iconic guitar players. But I also like Slipknot and Lamb of God are two of my favorite bands, and I like the heavier stuff, and I think we're kind of pushing heavier and heavier. But like I said before, we don't want to be too Cannibal Corpse.
Yes. Okay.
As much as I love Cannibal Corpse and
Yes.
they've had an influence on us, you know, I don't want to be too Slipknot. I don't want to be too Metallica. I don't want to be too
Right.
anything. I want to
Okay,
do
I
our
get
own
what
thing,
you're saying.
but we certainly have a lot of influences, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I think when you hear us, you can hear some Pantera, you can hear some Metallica, you can hear some Slayer, you can hear some of the new guys, too.
Rip Slayer. I have to put that in sadly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, usually on this channel, at this point, we stop our questioning and we play a little game. Are
Cool.
you interested for a game?
I'm down.
Okay, the game is called Thrash or Trash. He seems to like it already, even though I haven't explained what it is about. It's a simple game. I'm gonna say either a band, song, or album, and you have two options. If you like it, you can say thrash. If you don't like it, you can say trash.
Okay, cool.
Thank you again to Rip Ripperson from the band Ripper out of Kitchener for giving us this name. I throw that in every time because I'm an idiot for not thinking of that title.
It actually reminds me in the Lords of Salem movie. Have you seen that?
No.
Do you know what it is?
No.
This guy does. So Rob Zombie's got a bunch of movies, and one of them is Lords of Salem.
Okay.
Probably the worst one of his, to be honest. But on the they have a radio show there actually.
Oh, okay.
And they have a segment called Smash or Trash, or what is it? Yeah, Smash or Trash. Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
And it's kind of the same concept. Like, do we like this or do we not like it?
Okay. Excellent. Well, I'm glad that he already knows the concept of the game,
Yeah.
and I'm ripping off Rob Zombie, I guess, now. But I don't care. At this
Watch the
point.
movie.
I'll watch the movie. I have the box.
Prepare for disappointment. But.
Oh, disappointment's my whole life, so I'm ready.
Yeah, welcome to the music industry.
Yeah. Okay. To start off, you keep mentioning Gojira a lot, so let's do Gojira, the Link album.
Thrash.
Thrash.
Fucking A.
Fucking.
Actually, one of the best concerts I ever saw. I mean, I've seen Gojira a few times, but and I'm going to see them next Tuesday. But
Slipknot, I forgot.
But one of the best shows I ever saw was them at the Sound Academy, and it was just one of those nights you didn't want to end, and I wish I could go back to. The sound was perfect. They were perfect, and you know, they even played like you know, the end of Terra Incognita, or that In the Forest track, and then they have that weird thing at the end.
No, they did?
They did it, and
Oh
it
my
was
God.
so good. That drummer makes that band.
Oh my, Mario does.
Yeah.
Do you follow him on Instagram?
No, I don't actually. I find I don't follow a lot of bands on Instagram because I'm just like, fuck you. I'm too bitter to follow them.
No, they used to do these funny videos where it was like evil Mario.
Oh yeah.
Every Mario just killing off people and stuff, and it was hilarious.
I haven't seen that actually.
No, he always had a pet spider that always killed or told him to kill. It was a pretty girl, tried to hook up with them, gave her a rose.
I'll have to look into this.
Spider killed her. Perfect.
Maybe I'll give him a follow.
Why not? Besides that, let's move on. Metallica's Saint Anger.
Thrash. I'm a big fan of that album. You know,
Really?
So with music, I find sometimes when I listen to an album, it like cements a moment in time for me.
Okay.
You know, and this might sound really silly, but every time I listen to Saint Anger, I always think of playing Need for Speed. So it's just like it like I have good memories of it. Just ripping Need for Speed on the classic Xbox, listening to Saint Anger when that came out. And I like a lot of the songs on that, genuinely. I think a lot of them are different, you know, like Sweet Amber. It's a cool tune, you know, and I kind of like that, the concept, like, let's do no guitar solos and, you know, make it sound like a band that's just starting out, like a garage band, you know, let's get out of the nice studio and, you know, a band that's been doing it for so long, there's parts in the documentary, the Some Kind of Monster, where Lars is playing garbage.
Yeah.
But I can see that he's just trying to do something different. So I respect that, like I don't, they're a candid band. It's like,
Yes.
we've seen their whole career and, I think they do have some secrets, but...
We all do.
Yeah, I guess so. Their secrets are coming out a little more. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a third guitar player on And Justice for All.
Probably.
But I actually have, like, a good source that told me that.
Really?
Yeah. So, apparently So, Cliff died on the Master of Puppets tour, right?
Rip Cliff.
Yeah. And, the band was fucked up when that happened,
Oh, yeah,
he was like a leader of the band, and he was,
And it just happened so sudden on the bus,
right.
let alone.
And you gotta think, too, these guys are all like 22, 23
Yes.
at the time, and they're just kind of getting big.
Yeah.
Their first big tour was with Ozzy on the Master of Puppets tour.
Yes.
And then so they had so much pressure from the labels
Mm-hmm.
to just get right back in the studio, get yourself a bass player, get recording right away. And so not only did they not have time to grieve, but they're fucked up on drugs.
Yeah.
Cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that's not a good drug.
No.
And in fact, even in the Toronto scene, I see it. And
Really?
And I can see almost two halves of the scene. Or, I know guys probably don't like me calling it the scene, but what's going on in Toronto through my eyes is, I don't know, I hate working with promoters who are cokeheads.
Okay.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Especially when they're asking you for money. One thing I love about Inertia Entertainment is it's run by Noel Peters.
Yes.
And he's a great guy. Never had any... Have I ever had any disagreements with him in talking, trying to get myself some shows?
Probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I still respect the guy, and we're still able to at least communicate and talk to each other. I'm thankful that he even is willing to work with us, because if he decided not to, what am I going to do? Am I going to call the police?
No, you can't.
It is what it is. I speak candidly about these things because I don't give a fuck if I'm like some millionaire rock star. I'm going to keep playing guitar no matter what.
Perfect. I love that answer. It was a great answer.
So Saint Anger is thrash.
Saint Anger is thrash to the point. And now we're gonna do a band from the Toronto area, who have been on the channel, and we're still waiting to upload that video. Chainfall.
I don't know them super well, but I know of the name, and I have seen them around on posters and things. I'm not going to lie and say I know them. Mm-hmm. I know the name, and I have seen them around.
Okay.
But I don't know them well enough to say yay or nay.
Fair enough. They are, for the first time ever, we have a inclusive answer. I was like, inclusive? Yes, inclusive, yes. Now, before I ask you the final question, I have two questions I would like to ask about the band, and just to end it off, kind of.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you are aware of the Vakken Battle Canada, where metal bands from all across this great nation join or sign up, or I don't know.
We actually competed in it.
Okay, that answers it, yeah.
And I think we kind of shot ourselves in the... So, like, we played a great set.
Yeah.
And, but you know what? I think we shot ourselves again, some people... I have a big mouth, too, so some people don't always like me. And,
okay.
And that's fine. One of the judges was the bass player from Annihilator.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we were actually offered a tour with Annihilator. But there was a $40,000 buy-on.
Okay.
And when I talked to the bass player about this face-to-face, he really wasn't like in the mood to have this conversation, you know.
Okay.
And I think he was a little turned off by that fact. And actually, I remember him saying, I said to him like, "Oh, you were one of the judges for," because I saw him after the show, and I was like, "Yeah, Vesperia was the band that beat us."
Yes.
And he said to me, "Oh, I could never judge those guys because those guys are my best friends, so I would have to vote for them. So I wasn't judging them." But he, in fact, was judging them. And Vesperia did end up winning the Vakken Metal Battle.
What year was this?
I'm not very good with years. It was a few years ago.
Okay.
But, I think it's getting around that time where we might do that again, actually, and give it another go.
Okay.
No bitterness. And another thing I think we shot ourselves in the foot is we brought a singer on stage. I don't think they like that. We were just, partying. We played a great set.
Yes.
And the crowd went nuts for us. But I think we had... Again, maybe I'm fucking wrong and I'm just sounding... I hope I'm not coming across as bitter, but I just think we had a couple political things against us.
Okay.
That the bass player didn't really like us and he liked the other band.
Yes.
I talked a lot of shit about some of the other bands.
Okay.
What can I say?
No, it's all good, And the last question I have, we keep talking about this album. We keep anticipating this album.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes, I'm excited for it. I want to have you guys back on to promote the album.
Yeah, I would love that.
Awesome.
We'll have a full band on next time.
Perfect. We'll set it up. Thrashing's Paradise.
Yeah.
In contention for the Album of the Year 2020.
Boom.
More. Besides all that fun stuff that we will talk more about off camera, will there be a release party show?
I imagine there will be a release party show, but it depends on the circumstances that happen, I mean, we were going to release the album in May, and it's like, yeah. What do? You do an album release show in your hometown and the cities around you, and you maybe sell fucking 100 copies if you're lucky, and you fucking do nothing. So,
excuse me.
And that's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what we want to do, I mean, we're trying to grow the band a little bit more before we release it, and it's a game.
Yeah.
It's the music business. We have the music, but there's the business, it might be even like a 60-40 aspect.
Okay.
You need to have your ducks in a row before you really, if you want to make an impact. I want to tour. It's a life goal of mine to tour.
Okay.
Not because I want to become rich and famous, but just because I want the road.
Yes.
I need the road.
You have the urge to go far and beyond of where you started from to get it out there.
Yeah, I don't mind living off noodles and beer to do it. I want to feel the hard times.
I think that's the dream. Isn't it to live off
noodles and beer?
Noodles and beer? That's awesome. Now, we're at the point of the show where we ask one last hard-hitting, brutal question. It's a very important topic. It's something that we take very seriously here on Thrashing's Paradise. If you have seen previous videos, which I know you have, you would know what this question is. We call it the poser question. The question is designed and, created to ensure that we are talking to actual metalheads.
I remember there was this, let's say, very attractive girl, and I was such a metalhead back in the day. I couldn't have anything to do with her because I just didn't buy the fact that she was a real Pantera fan. I felt like she was just saying it to me to show me, hey, I know Pantera, I like Pantera, and I was like, no, I was not having any of it. So if that doesn't prove it, I don't know what does.
Perfect. Then this question should be easy for you. It's okay to feel the tension in the air. It's okay to feel nervous. It's okay. We understand.
I feel relaxed.
That defeats the purpose of the question.
I'm sorry, brother.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. The question is simple. Who would win in a fight? Lemmy or God?
Well, Lemmy is God, so it's a trick question.
Cheers to that. Do you know what movie that quote is from?
Airheads.
Damn right. He's 2 for 2, ladies and gentlemen. We are still perfect on this channel. Thank you so much for tuning in for this fine edition of the Thrashing Couch with Mike from Plethora. Make sure to check them out on Facebook, because I know that's the only guaranteed thing that's not unavailable right now.
Yep.
And Mike, any last words to say to the viewers at home?
September 22nd, we're playing at Lee's Palace with The Agonist. Come check it out. It's going to be a great show. We're going to have this album coming out soon, and if you want to check out some of our new music videos, actually, we just released one about a month ago called Wake the Dead, and it's on our YouTube page, and you can find us under Plethora Band.
Damn right. Make sure to go to that show. I will be attending personally to see my friend Mike and the members of Plethora to harass them to come on this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, keep on thrashing.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.